Alright, on to Module 3. So in this module, we're going to actually get CAD set up so you can start drafting. And there are certain things that you want to do before you start drafting to make sure things are as you need them to be. Okay, welcome back to Module 3. Now we're going to set up AutoCAD so we can start drafting. And there are just a few things you want to do before you start drafting to make sure everything... What do I want to say? Okay, welcome back to Module 3, setting up your drawing space. So there are just a few settings to adjust before you start drafting. So the mouse was one of the things you needed along with the right computer to do AutoCAD. So again, I highly recommend using a mouse with a scroll wheel. I think you can use a pad on your keyboard. I've tried to do that myself, and it's way more difficult than using a mouse. And then there are actually settings you can set for your mouse if you are using that. And the other important thing to set up is drawing utilities. Units, it's basically what you'll be working in as far as, it's based on location. So if you want to work in inches or centimeters, or that's important because you'll use that all the time. So the other things to set up are under the Options tab, and we'll go through all this. Display, Open and Save, and User Preferences are the basic ones you need. So this is covering the basics. There are lots of options you'll see when you get in there, but these are the ones you need that will get you drafting today. So we're going to go to AutoCAD. Okay, and one thing is to set anything up, you actually have to have a drawing open. So what we want to do is go up here to that icon and click on New, and it will just open a drawing for you. And we just want to do this AutoCAD LT version, open. Alright, and now we are in the program. So now if we go up to this icon, we have more options. So the first one was that drawing utilities. And the only thing we're going to do in here is go to Units. And this is the default for it, which is in decimal, and this is the precision with 4 decimal points. So I use it in inches, and so what I like to do is put it in architectural. And then you can choose your precision. For the purposes of this, we can just do inches. And of course, if you want to be really precise, you can move up the scale here. And we won't be using angles, but if you ever do in the future, that's where you can change those options too. Okay, so that's good for drawing units. And then the next thing is options. So again, under that icon, you want to go down here to options. And lots of things you can do in here, but we're just going to do a few things to get us started. So we're going to go to display. And color scheme here is dark or light, and that is for the actual menu. So if you choose light, basically the background will be all white. And then the other color options are, so this is totally preference. If you want to do, I'm just going to put it on light so you can see what that looks like. Hit OK. And you can see everything is in white now. I prefer the dark background, so I'm going to go back to dark. Okay, so we're going to do dark there. And then leave all this as it is. We're going to go to colors. And for me, I prefer everything to be a dark background. So model space is where we are now. And then sheet layout is when you go to these tabs, it shows what you would be printing. Those are called layouts. And that changes the background of those. So basically in CAD, everything is in colors. You know, every line you draw will be a color. And every color is assigned a line weight. So I like the black background. I feel like there's more contrast for me to see what's going on. So I always do it in a dark color, or what are the options? Black and white, I believe. Oh no, I guess you can choose a lot of colors, but I'm going to go with the black. So you can see there's a lot more contrast there. So again, I'm just going to show you what it looks like now with the light background. So if you go to layout 1. So basically this would be the what you print, and then this here is called a viewport, and that's whatever you're bringing into print from model space. Which, don't worry about any of that terminology right now, but just to show you white, and then we're going to go and change it to black. So we're going to go here, back to options. And it didn't save anything because I didn't hit apply. So I'm going to go back and change that to dark, go into colors, and for my sheet layout, go change it to black. And you can see there's many options again. Don't need to worry about those right now. We're going through the basics here. So we're going to do apply and close for this, and you can see it changed to black. So in here, the next thing would be open and save. And this defaults to saving it back down to AutoCAD LT 2018. Which again is fine for these purposes. If you're sharing files and someone has a older version, then you can go in and change this to whatever you need to, so that someone else with a different program can use it. All the way back to, it looks like the 97 version. So, but we're just going to leave that for now. And automatic save. So I would always make sure that this is on, and then you can say how many minutes you want between saves. So basically, if you're working and the program crashes or your computer crashes for some reason, it automatically saves every 10 minutes. So you know the past, 3 hours of work you put in are not gone. And then you can easily find where that is stored, and I'll show you where that is. But this is critical, especially if you're using it for work and you've put a bunch of time into a project and then something happens to your program. So just make sure that's on, and I keep it on 10 minutes. That seems to be sufficient. And the last thing we'll do in here is user preferences. And with a mouse, you can do, this may also apply to a pad, but right-click customization, which I find really handy. So you'll see how it works, but I like to turn on the right click. So basically if you're in a command and you want to hit enter, you can just right click instead of hit enter. And that's how I use it. And I would try it, you know, the way I'm recommending, but then you can go change it and see if you prefer to do it a different way. And then if you have objects selected, if you right click, it will give you a shortcut menu. So it's easier than actually having to put in the command again. So that's how I like to do my right click customization. So we're going to do apply and close. And then we want to make sure we hit apply. And then OK. And then the last thing actually I'm going to show you in there is under options, under files. So I mentioned the automatic file saving, so that every 10 minutes it gets saved. So you just hit that plus sign to see where those are actually stored. And then if you want, you can change that location. But this is good to know if you do lose work or anything, to just go back in here into files and see where those files are stored. Then you can go in and restore them. Okay. And that's it. Now we're all set up. So in the next module, we'll actually start drafting. So I will see you there.